This data will shock you. I was on X the other day, a platform that I try and keep away from, like all social media except YouTube, but I came across a post that used this data. Now, I can't find the original post, sadly, but somebody posted this data where it showed the differences in spending between different generations. And Gen Z, who were born between 1995 and 2002, are spending so much less money on alcohol. It's staggering. And I wish I could give credit where credit is due because this individual made an amazing point. I can't remember his name. I can't find the post. But he said in his post, when he posted this graph, is that there will be people sat in a room right now, all kind of in a corner, and what they'll be doing is they'll be discussing how can we get more younger drinkers hooked on alcohol. And I thought, oh my gosh, what a point. Alcohol companies will be paying some pretty handsome salaries to some pretty smart marketers, and their sole job will be to figure out how can we persuade younger people to drink. Sales are going to tank. Our businesses will go under. And I'm going to show you some more statistics in a moment that will shock you because you'll see what's going on. And very quickly, if you want instant access to a brand new video training that I've just finished showing you how to control alcohol in as little as 48 hours, then click the link in the description. This new method is not about using willpower therapy or AA meetings. It's totally different. I do not publish this video anywhere else online, and it's already changing thousands of lives. So click the link below for instant access. Once you're on the next page, enter your name and email address and your free training will begin. It takes just 7 minutes to watch, but it'll feel like somebody flicks a switch in your brain. And honestly, I'm not sure when I'll start charging for this 7-minute video training. That's how good it is. But whilst it's still available, click the link below, enter your name and email address, and watch that video now. But there are people out there that want you to drink. Alcohol is not a non-profit business. These conglomerates, these alcohol companies make billions. There is so much money on the line when it comes to selling this drug that they will deploy any tactic that they can to get people to drink it. And I was thinking, oh, I wonder what conversation is going on in that room. And they probably sat there thinking, well, I mean, 20 years ago, we did the Alka-Pops. Or however long it was. Because when I was growing up, that's what people did is they'd go to a club and we'd drink WKDs and Smirnoff Ices. I don't know if that was big in the States, but in England, that's what all teenagers would drink. Because it didn't taste like you were drinking alcohol, right? Tasting vodka when you're 18 is disgusting. But these Alka-Pops, they were just kind of like whatever. It kind of tasted like you're drinking something from childhood. And you could drink without worrying about the taste. And, they kind of tasted nice because they're filled with additives and sugar, and you could ignore the disgusting foul taste of poison, and then by the time you drank 10 of them, you're all silly and stupid, and that was my teenage years. But if you look at the way the Alka-Pops are portrayed, how they're marketed, they look kind of childish. And I thought, I bet these people, they're sat there, these directors, these marketers, whoever they are, they're sat there in a room thinking, they're just not hitting anymore. These Alka-Pops, they're just not working. The fruity ciders, nobody's really buying them. What are we going to do? Then I found this other graph. And this other graph here shows how many hard seltzers younger people are drinking compared to elderly people. And what I'm about to say is going to shock you. You can see that the youngest generation are picking these hard seltzers over alcohol, over spirits, wine, and beer. But let's just put these side by side. Look at how a spirit is portrayed. Is that portrayed to be sold to a younger person? Look at how a beer is portrayed, or an ale. Then look at how wine is portrayed. And then look at these seltzers. When I look at seltzer marketing and seltzer packaging and I see that in an aisle, I don't look at that and think that's a drug. I don't look at that and think that's a poison. It almost looks like a pre-workout drink, like some caffeinated beverage. The branding is beautiful. You look like you're about to get your recommended daily allowance of vitamins in these damn cans. And it's working. Look at the data. Younger people are choosing to drink these drinks. And isn't it crazy to think that you're going to get some people out there that are so desperate for money and so desperate to get people hooked that they think, you know what? This is working. Let's get these seltzers out there, these hard seltzers. The young people are choosing them. And do you want to know the sick thing? Do you want to know the twisted part of all of this? Is it's the same as Alka-Pops. My generation, the people who drank Alka-Pops, are now migrating to beer and wines and spirits. Because whilst the numbers look extremely low and this Gen Z, they are drinking a lot less, the thing is with alcohol is you don't need to kind of start your life off drinking a lot. All they need to do is get you hooked young, and then consumption increases. So when I saw this data, at first I was quite shocked. I was like, oh wow, that's actually great. But then I really thought about it and I thought, is that a societal change? If so, amazing. Or is that just that they're not addicted yet because they're younger. See, it's very easy to look at that data and just make a snap judgment and think, wow, people are drinking less. But people don't drink less over time. They drink more over time. But if you think of the alcohol industry as a whole, what they're really doing, and listen, I don't believe on an individual level that these people are thinking, how can we get this person hooked on alcohol for the rest of their life? I don't think they think that way. I think they probably just see, spreadsheets and numbers and think, right, we need to get the numbers up. So, okay, we do this and then the numbers go up. I think that's how they're going to make decisions. I don't think these people are necessarily evil. But if you think of what alcohol companies want, is they want more people hooked on the drug. Why wouldn't they? The goal of a business is to make a profit. It's to add value. But an alcohol company doesn't add any value to the end consumer. The problem with alcohol companies is it adds value to shareholders, to people that invest in alcohol companies. The end consumer is the person that pays the ultimate price. The same way that a war is fought. Who benefits from a war? Yeah, sure, you could argue that sometimes wars are fought good versus evil, but is that really what happens? Or are there arms dealers out there that profit hundreds of millions? Are there leaders out there, world leaders that profit from war? Just look through history. There are expansionist nations that want to enrich themselves. But at what cost? Well, it's never the cost of the people at the top. Very rarely. It's usually the cost of the citizens. It's the citizens that get forced to the front line. And in a weird way, it's very similar with alcohol. The end consumer of alcohol is kind of like a soldier. The same way that in war, a general is probably going to see numbers. When they're planning battles, they're going to think, okay, well, we need 400,000 here and they've got 300,000 and then we can smash them. They're probably not thinking too deeply about the individual. And that's my problem. That's my problem with this entire industry. It's sick. My concern is not for an alcohol company. I don't invest in alcohol companies. I'm not a shareholder. I'm never going to release my own alcohol brand. See, my goal is to help you see through the lies. Alcohol is one of the most mentally and physically addictive drugs known to man. But once you can see past the branding, past the lies, past the illusion, alcohol starts to lose its sophistication, its glamour, its healthy looking flipping cans of whatever. It's madness. At its core, what you're doing is drinking diluted poison. There's nothing else to it. But it's not just a poison that damages you. It's a poison that damages you, damages your family, and it enriches other people. So the incentive to get people to drink is huge. And if you've got children, there are people out there, not necessarily at an individual level, but there is a huge incentive to get your child hooked on this drug. Now, if you want to see some of the secrets to actually getting in control of your drinking, just click the video on the screen now. You definitely want to check this one out if you're serious about change.